Hello, today I'm going to talk about the fourth part in my manifestation series, and it's called the backwards law. Alan Watt coined the backwards law, but this idea goes far back into antiquity. It's kind of a conundrum of Taoism, Zen, Buddhism. If you know the writer Aldous Huxley, he's also talked quite a bit about it, but he calls it the law of reversed effort. So the backwards law is a paradoxical concept that suggests the more we pursue something, the more we achieve the opposite of what we seek. Essentially, it proposes that the desire for a positive experience is itself a negative experience, while the acceptance of a negative experience is a positive experience. So I think this is an interesting idea in relation to manifestation, because one of the things about manifestation is people always are desiring things. And I think the more that you put that emphasis on the desire, the further away you push it, and the less likely that thing is going to come to you. It's the moment that you give up is when things usually happen. So as far as this law is concerned, we have a few things. The first is pursuit versus acceptance. The more you pursue something, the more elusive it becomes. Anybody that has chased after the opposite sex knows that the more you try, the more the thing the love or the passion, the desire kind of slips through your fingers. It's the moment that you stop trying that the magic kind of happens. But with that in mind, there's this thing of desire and suffering. The law aligns with the Buddhist principle that desire is a root cause of suffering. By constantly wanting something different from what we have, we create a cycle of perpetual dissatisfaction. Now, this is what I've talked about in several of the other videos in this series, is this idea of lack. If you're lacking, then you're not going to draw things to you. You're going to kind of repel them, which seems paradoxical, but that's just the paradoxical nature of reality. The backwards law emphasizes the paradoxical nature of many human pursuits. By letting go of the need to control and achieve, we often find that the things we desired come to us more naturally. And how do we do this in a practical application? Well, in practical terms, this means focusing on the present moment and embracing life's experiences, both good and bad, rather than being fixated on achieving certain outcomes. We fixate when something bad happens, not realizing that this bad outcome might be necessary on the road to the good outcome. So if you don't know Alan Watts, he is a legend. I adore the man. He wrote more than 25 books on Zen and the Tao. I've read several of them. Two that I would highly recommend just off the top of my head are The Way of Zen and Tao, the Watercourse Way. He also has many YouTube lectures that are invaluable, I think. Sometimes I'll just put them on and listen to them in the background. And he just has a very unique way of looking at things. So if you're interested in this idea, I recommend checking out some of these lectures. And here are a few quotes from him about this idea. When you try to stay on the surface of the water, you sink. But when you try to sink, you float. That insecurity is the result of trying to be secure. To have faith is to trust yourself to the water. When you swim, you don't grab hold on the water, because if you do, you will sink and drown. Instead, you relax and float. The more we struggle for life as pleasure, the more we are actually killing what we love. I'll also say Aldous Huxley is a legend as well. He's most known for The Doors of Perception and Brave New World, which are both excellent books. But he has this to say about it. There is a law of reversed effort. The harder we try with the conscious will to do something, the less we shall succeed. Proficiency and the results of proficiency come only to those who have learned the paradoxical art of doing and not doing, or combining relaxation with activity, of letting go as a person in order that the eminent and transcendent unknown quantity may take hold. We cannot make ourselves understand. The The most we can do is to foster a state of mind in which understanding may come to us. So I think if you really want to manifest, you have to break down this kind of paradox mindset. You have to see inside of it and accept it. Now, when you accept these paradoxes, I think it can break down a lot of the assumptions that we have of things. In fact, that's a good exercise to kind of look at objects. You have names for objects. You know, this is a cup, but if I look at it and try to break it down and think about it in a paradoxical way, it's also just some clay, some fired clay. And it can hold water, but can easily be broken as well. So, I mean, it has lots of different qualities to it. And I think your experiences in life, it's best to think of them that way. We always want to think about this like perfect job or perfect love or perfect amount of money. I think it's better to just accept what you have, but try to see through it, and maybe you will recognize kind of silver lining. I highly recommend reading the Tao Te Ching. When you do that, you will start understanding more about hard and soft, light and dark, good and bad, and how things that bend survive longer than things that break. But even if things break, that doesn't mean that they're useless. There's just a lot of things about polarity in this book, and also a lot about the present moment, now, living in the now. People think they change in the future, but that's not really true. You're thinking of your future as if it's different, but the moment is always the same. The moment changes from one moment to the next moment, but the moment is always the same. You can only step into the now over and over again. You're not really stepping into the future because the future is a fantasy. The more you get your head into that and realize that the paradoxes and the contradictions surround the now and are almost like doing this to the now, then you'll get into a state of relaxation and acceptance. Then this idea of like wanting something, of desiring something, it might not go away, but it will definitely lessen. And when it lessens, then the world will open up and more things will come. But the more rigid, the more wanting of an outcome, the more kind of totalitarian you are about your life, the more you hold on, the more you grasp and not want to let go, the worse your life's going to become. Anyone that has gone through a breakup knows that the more you grab on to that person, the worse everything gets. So that's all I got. I'm going to be doing one more video in this playlist. That's going to be part 5, and it's going to be about the mirror principle. But that's about all I got for today. If you want to comment about anything in here, you're welcome to do that below. And if you want to share this video, I would appreciate it. You can like and subscribe or hit the bell, any of that stuff. But that's about all I got. Take care. Have a good day.